why the secrecy? Well, who were these men? Senator Nelson Aldrich, who was the Republican whip in the Senate. Aldrich was a business associate of J.P. Morgan. He was the father-in-law to John D. Rockefeller, Jr., which means, of course, that eventually he became the grandfather of Nelson Rockefeller, our former vice president. The second person at the meeting was Abraham Piatt Andrew, who was Assistant Secretary of the Treasury. Frank Vanderlip was there. He was the president of the National City Bank of New York, which was the largest and the most powerful of all the banks in the country. Representing the financial interests of William Rockefeller, Henry Davison was there. He was the senior partner of the J.P. Morgan Company. Charles Norton was present. He was the president of the First National Bank of New York, which was another one of the giants. There was Benjamin Strong, who was the head of J.P. Morgan's Bankers Trust Company. And finally, there was Paul Warburg, who was probably the most important of all the men there because of his knowledge of banking as it was practiced in Europe. Paul Warburg was one of the wealthiest men in the world. He was a representative of the Rothschild banking dynasty in England and France, and these are the men that sat around a table on Jekyll Island and created the Federal Reserve System. They represented approximately 1/4 of the wealth of the entire world.
Wow. I'll let you make up your mind on your own, but if you want to learn, and this is not conspiracy theory, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, if you want to learn some documented facts on why 1913 was such an infamous year for the future economic health of our country, read The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. You make up your own mind. It's an incredible story. It'll make you understand why we have a broken financial system now and why it's getting harder and harder to produce wealth and create financial freedom. And what are the objectives of the financial institutions? What are the rules of all financial institutions and how you can overcome that? Definitely recommend you read this book if you want to take a little bit deeper dive and learn what happened over the last 150 years and why we have the current broken system we do today.